Scientists discover cells can sense 10 times farther, and it may explain cancer spread. Imagine if your body's cells could sense obstacles buried deep beneath the surface, almost like having biological radar. For years, scientists believed cells could only feel what they directly touched, but new research suggests something far more surprising. Groups of cells can actually detect structures up to 10 times farther away than previously thought, and this ability may play a crucial role in one of medicine's biggest mysteries: how cancer spreads through the body. To understand why this discovery is so fascinating, we need to look at how cells interact with their environment. Cells don't just sit passively in tissue. They constantly push, pull, and probe the surrounding biological material known as the extracellular matrix, a network made largely of proteins such as collagen. By tugging on these fibers, cells can gauge whether the surrounding environment is soft, stiff, crowded, or open. This mechanical sensing helps them decide where to move, how to grow, and even whether to change their behavior. In earlier studies, scientists discovered that individual cells, especially aggressive cancer cells, could feel about 10 microns ahead of their position. They do this by pulling on collagen fibers like tiny ropes. The tension travels through the fibers and reveals what lies ahead: a stiff tumor, softer tissue, or structural barriers. But the new research from engineers at Washington University in St. Louis shows that when cells work together as a cluster, the story changes dramatically. Groups of epithelial cells, common cells that form the surfaces of organs and tissues, can combine their mechanical forces. When they do, they effectively extend their sensing ability out to 100 microns, roughly 10 times farther than a single cell. Think of it like several people pulling on the same fishing net. A single person might feel only small movements nearby, but when many people pull together, the tension travels much farther across the net. In biological terms, cell clusters pull collectively on the surrounding collagen network. That force deforms the fibers across a much larger region, allowing the cells to detect layers of tissue far beyond their immediate contact point. Computer simulations suggest this sensing happens in stages, as cell clusters organize themselves and begin migrating together. Why this matters? At first glance, this might sound like a small technical detail about cell behavior, but the implications are enormous, especially for understanding cancer metastasis. The deadliest aspect of cancer isn't the original tumor, it's the moment cancer cells escape and spread to other organs. If clusters of cells can sense the stiffness and structure of tissue far ahead of them, they may effectively map out a path through the body before moving. That means migrating cells could avoid obstacles, navigate through softer tissue, and find routes that allow tumors to expand or metastasize more easily. Implications for medicine. If scientists learn how cells perform this long-range sensing, it could open entirely new strategies for cancer treatment. Instead of just targeting tumor growth, doctors might aim to disrupt the cell's ability to sense its environment. Imagine blinding cancer cells so they can no longer detect the best route to spread. Without that mechanical guidance system, migrating cells might become trapped near the primary tumor, slowing or even preventing metastasis. But there's an important nuance here that many headlines overlook. This discovery isn't just about cancer cells becoming more powerful, it's actually about normal cells cooperating. The long-distance sensing ability emerges when cells behave collectively. In other words, it's an emergent property of cooperation, not just an individual cell superpower. This hints at a deeper truth in biology. Complex behaviors often arise when simple units work together, and that principle might apply across many biological systems, from tissue development to wound healing. Looking ahead, researchers want to identify the molecular mechanisms controlling how far cells can sense. Are there specific proteins that regulate the force cells generate? Are certain tissues more susceptible to this long-range probing? If scientists can pinpoint those regulators, they may be able to design therapies that alter how cells interact with their mechanical environment. Beyond cancer, this knowledge could also influence regenerative medicine, tissue engineering, and even the design of artificial organs. Broader perspective. This research also highlights a growing field known as mechanobiology, which studies how physical forces influence biological behavior. For decades, biology focused mostly on chemistry and genetics, but it's becoming increasingly clear that mechanics, forces, pressure, stiffness are just as important in determining how cells behave. The body isn't just a biochemical system, it's also a dynamic mechanical network. Closing thought. So the next time you hear about cells moving through the body, don't picture them wandering blindly. They may actually be probing their surroundings like tiny explorers, sensing hidden structures far beyond their reach. And if scientists can learn how that sensing works and how to interrupt it, we might one day stop cancer not just by attacking tumors, but by cutting off their ability to navigate the body in the first place.